So friends, I am so excited to hang out with you tonight. And first of all, can I just say thank you for showing up for this class and for contributing, because it's such an honor to write cookbooks for a living. And I don't take it for granted, but I forget very often that it's a lot of work. And so it's not always fun, right? But then you get it and you think, wow, that was kind of incredible. Like, how lucky am I that I get to write books for a living, right? So this one, called Homemade Simple, Effortless Dishes for a Busy Life. I've been at it for quite some time. We finished it. The thing that's so interesting about books is that I finished it before the new year last year, and then it went to print like March 9th, I think. March 2nd, March 9th, somewhere around there. And then it comes out, in October. So you work so far ahead, you kind of forget. But then before you blink, it's here. And so I've written these recipes over the past, I don't know, it's been like a year ago. I was doing all of these recipes. And so part of it feels foreign, but then you get it back and you're like, oh yeah, this has been my life. So I just wanted to share 3 recipes with you that are different for me. They're new from this book, and I basically took recipes that I've been making forever and ever. And in this book, I tried to find new twists on flavor and ways to make them easier for everybody, okay? So that's exactly what I've done here. And so there are 3 recipes we're gonna talk about tonight. One I made ahead, but it's so simple. I mean, you can literally write down what I did, and you'll be able to recreate it yourself in no time. The funniest part is I did it. It's the pasta sauce. It's eggplant pasta with some red onion, eggplant. I put zucchini in it. I typically don't, but I had some crushed tomatoes and smoked mozzarella. And so I didn't even follow my recipe while I made it today. I just made it, and then I came back and I looked at the recipe and I was like, yep, it's the same thing. So we're going to talk about that one. But then we're also doing 2 very easy weeknight meals. And one of them is this Moroccan spiced chicken, which I'll have to turn to the page because I laugh when I can't remember what spices are in my spice blends. But I've typically done, I love warm spices and a lot of the spices from North Africa when I cook. And in my past books, I've done things with like a whole roasted chicken, or I'll do things on the grill with the skin on, the bone in, because I love chicken like that. But I was getting tons of requests for weeknight meals that are good for you and so easy to do. So I decided to take the flavors that I love and turn it into a weeknight meal where I take parsnips and carrots and red onion and just make a bed of them on a sheet pan and then put the spiced chicken on top of it. And the whole thing cooks in like 20, 25 minutes, okay? So why don't we start with that one, and then I'm gonna show you how I make, here we are, me and me. Then I'm gonna show you how I make the pineapple salsa and the slaw for fish tacos. And my friend just went fishing in Mexico and he caught 65 pounds of fresh fish, and he didn't get a chance to bring it over here tonight yet, but that part's not the important part. The important part is all of the things that you can do on a weeknight or do ahead of time so that you come home and if you have like a piece of chicken or salmon or any fish, you can just grill it or cook it up and have this delicious meal, right? So it's really about the other components. So let's start with the chicken. And of course, if you are new here, you are welcome, and you're live, you're welcome to ask me any questions. The gift I'm giving away tonight, I love to give things away. And I know some of you who contributed more than the class price are entered already for a signed cookbook from me when it comes out, and an invitation to my book signing party. But I'm going to send you, they accidentally sent me an extra copy. I'm not supposed to have any extra copies. They sent me one for an auction prize that I committed to, and I think they're sending me an extra. So if you win tonight, we'll announce your name. Well, I'll probably announce the name tomorrow. I think Caitlin's back tomorrow to help me with this. I'll sign this, I'll personalize it for you, and I'll send it to you right before everybody else gets theirs. So it drops on October 24th. Hi, Linda from Orinda. Hello down the street, wherever you are. And you will have it before anybody else does. I don't know. I just think there's something kind of fun, and it will be my copy to you. Okay. So, all right, let's get cooking. I'm going to do this, my good old fashioned, just turn the camera down, right? And here's what I've done. I cannot believe it, friends. I've run out of parchment paper, my favorite thing. So I just lined a sheet pan with oil, which will be just fine. And I already made my spice blend, which was, let's see if I can remember this. Cardamom, cumin, cinnamon. I used some, what was I forgetting? Turmeric, but I used curry powder because I didn't have any cumin. And that also had cardamom and one of the coriander. It's all the C's, okay? So I made the spice blend, which looks like this. And I put it in with the boneless, skinless chicken thighs and some olive oil and some salt. There was no salt in this, so I wanted to make sure that I got some in there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna chop some vegetables, okay? My carrots were so sad. They were like really, they've been in there for ages. So I put them in some cold ice water just to try to crisp them up a little bit. And I happened to just peel the parsnips because I could. So, and then there's a red onion I'm going to cut up too, just kind of like quarter it or put it in eighths. And then I'll toss all of that in olive oil with a little bit of the spice blend. And we'll put that down here on the sheet pan, okay? Well, look at that. I'm getting a message saying my son was marked 40 in class today. Busted. Okay, let me get my knife. And I'll toss this water out so that I don't have a mess. Again, always trying to clean as I go now for classes because I'm the worst. Okay. So since I already peeled these two, I'm just going to kind of cut them into chunks on the bias. I think this looks really pretty. I'll show you what they look like up close, okay? Ta-da. Do some more. Kune, have you seen Lindsay's adorable baby? You guys, my business partner had a baby, and he's the cutest thing on earth. I'm in love, and it's so much fun to celebrate a baby when I've got kids who are now in college and a senior in high school. It's kind of crazy. This board is loud. That's why I'm kind of picking up my knife in a funny way. I don't know why it's so loud tonight. I'm just going to cut these tips off that I didn't peel very well. Don't worry about those. I'll put them straight into the compost, okay? Which happens to be over here. That behind me. You guys also have to hear me not complain, just talk about my back pain a lot. And I'm going to a new surgeon tomorrow, and I'm so delighted. So if you see me sitting, it's just because of my pain levels. I'm constantly trying to figure that out. Okay, let's get these into, I'm just going to put them straight into the bowl here. Now, you could do the chicken earlier in the day. You could even put the veggies in earlier, too, and let them sit in that spice rub all day long with the oil. That's not going to do anything except add lots of flavor to that for you, okay? All right, now I just need a spoon. All of my good utensils are in the dishwasher. Whoops, and my dishwasher is on the other side of this island. So let's put this down here for you to see. And you know what? I'm going to want to add some more salt to this and some more spice rub. So let's just do that. And then let's get the salt. Away you go. And a little bit more oil. I can see it's going to be a little dry. And I don't want it to really stick to the pan much. Yeah, he's pretty darn cute, I must say. I mean, as far as babies go, I know we all think our own kids are adorable, but her son is just the cutest. Okay. Oops, I forgot to put the onions in with this, but guess what? We don't care. We're just going to add them now. That's the best part about all of this, you guys, is that when we're talking about making homemade food, I'm not talking about doing crazy, difficult things. I'm talking about using a few delicious, good for you ingredients to make really simple food. And so that's exactly what we're doing here, and it's exactly what I set out to do with this book. If you are a beginner cook, this book should not intimidate you. And one of my most important goals is to be able to write my recipes in a voice that anyone can follow and understand. I like to kind of anticipate questions of cooks, especially if you're not comfortable in the kitchen. My favorite thing to do. Okay, I'm just gonna like trim off these little roots. You see, you can't really see them with the camera. They're just kind of like some stems. That's okay. Let's just get rid of the yucky stuff. And then, but I'm going to leave them intact there on the end because I'm just going to, let's do this. Let's cut through there. So they're kind of in segments, right? I like these big, beautiful segments on the tray. So if you can cut through the root end, great. If they fall apart, that's fine too, because you're going to just serve them all over the place. Now you could do this with shallots as well that have been peeled. That'd be amazing. Just a little bit more oil. See, I don't really worry about it. When I'm working with things like really good for you ingredients like olive oil, I don't really sweat how much I use. I just use as much as I want. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands again, so don't worry about me touching the chicken, okay? It's just the way it is. Okay. Jean, what's the weather like in Illinois right now? Is it hot? Is it rainy? What's happening there? It's been so crazy in California for the storms down south, and it's really hot where the rest of us are. Let me wash my hands here for a second. Okay. All right, so into the oven it's going to go. I'm going to put this in at 400 for 20 to 25 minutes total, but let's check it in about 15 minutes, okay? See how it's looking. Oven rack's in the wrong place. 1 second. Oh, one's been messing with my oven. Okay, there we go. You'll be surprised at how quickly this cooks. And then go. All right. Okay. Horribly hot. Oh. Has it been humid as well? I just don't do well with humidity, and it's been really humid where I live. It drives me bonkers. I'm pretty much a wimp, decided. I'd like to live in a temperature differential of 68 to 72 degrees. I would be so happy if it was within that for the rest of my life. And I swear to you, I know when it's above or below that. Okay, so we have got the Moroccan spiced chicken in the oven. Such an easy meal. And in the book, I talk about serving it with, yes, if you follow my other books or me, I'm always making herb sauces. So I suggest if you've got like a chimichurri sauce or any of the green sauces I make around your house, you can certainly serve it with one of those. You can also do it with chicken where the bone is in. I love cooking chicken on the bone. It adds extra flavor. It's juicier when it's on the bone. But for weeknights, and for people who just don't like chicken on the bone, this is such a wonderful option, right? You could also serve it. It's going to have these beautiful root vegetables, but you could serve it with couscous. You could serve it with quinoa. If you want something like that to drizzle the juices over and really soak it up, it would be delicious, right? So tonight I actually do have some chimichurri in my house, so I'll serve the roasted veggies and chicken with the chimichurri. And that'll be one of our 3 options since I'm making everything else as well, okay? Any questions on that? I can't wait to show you the finished product. You know, boneless, skinless things have a lot less flavor, like I'm saying, so I really love to use things like spice rubs and herb sauces to really pack a punch and add more flavor to things that are less flavorful, right? So you'll still get great protein in chicken and things like that without the bone, but I'm always looking for ways to incorporate flavor without adding a lot of ingredients that aren't so good. So the spice blends are a great way to do that, okay? Oh, I forgot, I had black pepper in that spice blend too, because with turmeric, you always want to add black pepper. It increases the bioavailability of all of the good curcumin. Is that curcumin? In it. The anti-inflammatory properties, okay? All right, let's talk about salsa. Let's talk about making pineapple salsa, and let's talk about making this slaw for my fish tacos. In this book, I decided to make shrimp tacos because I always make fish tacos. I mean, let me start over. We love tacos. And so A lot of times I'll do like tilapia, something really simple, or any fresh fish that I can find that's meaty that holds up. Like I said, my friend has mahi mahi. He also caught some mahi tuna. So I will put anything in a taco. But in the book, I decided to do shrimp because I don't do that much shrimp in my cookbooks for some reason. And I think it's because I realized one of my sons doesn't eat shrimp that much. And so I kind of just stopped cooking it as much, but they're delicious. And so tonight I'm not doing the shrimp part because, like I said, that's not really the exciting part of the recipe. The exciting part is being able to take a couple ingredients and making some really delicious things to put on your tacos that you can do in advance so that when you come home and you're tired and you're in a hurry or you just want it done already, it takes like no time to make your tacos, right? So the other thing about this is if you want to do shrimp, you can do shrimp, but you can do this spice rub on shrimp, chicken, fish, steak, whatever you like, okay? So it's meant to be interchanged with lots of things. You can mix and match kind of your ingredients to your choosing. I'm also going to make a little bit of guacamole for kicks. I might add a little bit of Greek yogurt to it. I don't know. Just depends on how I'm feeling, okay? The first thing I want to do, though, is just show you what, let's call it slaw, but it's basically the simplest version of cabbage that you can put on a taco. And it's basically just putting some shredded cabbage in lime juice, and the lime juice is actually going to soften it up and kind of cook it down, right? So it makes it soft enough to pile on your taco. Instead of if you were to just cut this and eat it right away, you would notice it's got a lot of kind of more of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of more of like the earthy flavor you might not love in cabbage. Like just by giving it a couple minutes to sit in lime juice can make a huge difference, okay? This is a ton of cabbage when you cut into it, so I'm not going to use all of it. What I am going to do is just remove a little bit of this down here. Let me see if that other camera, can you see the core here, right? I didn't cut a lot of the core. I like to cut around this core when I am making slaw because it doesn't taste good and it's really dense. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of this part out, okay? And then I'm going to take off the top layer. I did wash it, but it just makes it easier if you're assuming things are dirty from being handled all the time, okay? Now I want to show you two different things. I'm going to show you when I cut it. This would be kind of like horizontally. No, that's vertically. No, that's horizontally if it's standing up, right? Versus vertically. The slices will just be different. So this is what it's going to look like. This is the shape you'll get. Because this depends on how the direction of how the leaves grow, right? So I just want to show you the difference. And I'm using a knife that's got a pretty thin blade to get a really nice thin slice on this. You could certainly use a food processor. Okay, so they're not that different actually. No, they actually are very close. Do it however you like. Boom. That's that little spot. Do you guys see that spot? I don't know where. I think it might. Oh, it's probably on my screen and not on the bowl. Okay, so let's just keep slicing this. And then you realize like one head of cabbage can make a ton of slaw. Also, if you have red cabbage, that's delicious. Napa cabbage is a little bit softer. That works really nicely too. But I just want to give it a solid 5 or 10 minutes at least before you eat it to soften up in the lime juice. The acid's really going to just break it down a little bit. Okay. Now, in you go. Overdoing it as always. I mean, there are 3 of us here, and they're both, my other kids have already eaten some other things, but this is how I roll, and now we'll have it for tomorrow, so when we're all running around, there will be other food to eat, right? Always more. I always love having options around here. I also like to keep my space clean. All right, move those out of the way. And then those are the other ingredients for the salsa. Okay, so depending if you were going to make salsa as well, you could put some other ingredients in this, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do some lime juice. And I'm going to cut my lime my favorite way. I certainly have a citrus press, which you can use. But instead, I'm going to cut around the center, the most fibrous part, and I'm going to cut down so you get these little cheeks of lime juice. And it's easier to squeeze with your fingers, right? And then I'll show you in the center. This is the part that's like a little bit more fibrous, and it doesn't juice very well. So instead, I'm just going to take these cute little cheeks of lime juice, limes, I should say, and squeeze away. Squeeze right over the top. I should mention as well, if you're watching this live or if you come back and watch it, that this class may only be streamed on Crowdcast. It might not be able to hit your account if you're a House of Haas member. So if you want to come back and watch it, you can come back to Crowdcast and just log on and it will be in your library here, okay? So just a little thing to make note of. Put some salt on here. I'm going to just carefully toss this with my hands. Why am I having camera problems? I'm not getting any smarter tonight, folks. So I just want to make sure this is all kind of coated in the lime juice. I'm going to use a little bit more lime. Just flip this over like that, shall we? I'm not worried about my hands in it because it's just lime juice, right? I don't have to worry about anything touching my fingers that I don't like. Move that out of the way as well. Again, just go 1, 2, 3, like a little triangle. And then we're going to just squeeze this right on again. Fun, huh? Here's my little piece of lime. Now, sometimes when you twist the center piece, you get some juice. Yeah, this is a really juicy lime. Just get much more out of it. Oh, thank you. Those little things in life, right? I learned that lime trick from a Jean-Georges von Richten cookbook like 30 years ago, and I still remember it. I love those little hacks that change your life. Sprinkle a little bit more salt over it, okay? So we're just going to let that. Are you guys seeing that? There's little weird things happening on my computer. Just 1 second. Sorry. 1 sec. Huh. What is that about? Let me go close out. Are you guys still there? I hope so. Hold on. Let's see if you're still there. Okay, you guys can see me? Okay, phew. The screen started doing this really weird thing where it was just popping up and showing ads off of a different. I wonder what that was about. Okay, good. I'm glad that I'm here. All right. No need to panic. Let's just sit that down over there, and then let's make some pineapple salsa, shall we? So here's what I'm going to put in the pineapple salsa. I'm going to do more lime juice. I'm going to do some jalapeno. I'm going to do cilantro, and then I will do pineapple. That's it. I'm going to keep it super simple, okay? So if you've never cut pineapple before, or you're just wondering how you get the most out of it, I'm going to show you how I do it. There's not one perfect way. First of all, they say you should be able to pull a leaf out from the top easily, and I did. So hooray for us. Now I'm just going to twist this top up. That's easy, right? Okay. All right. So now here's what I want. I'm always looking for a stable base, right? So I'm going to cut the bottom of this off because oh God, it's beautiful. Look at how gorgeous that is. I want it to be stable here on the bottom. I'm also going to cut the top up because we're not going to eat that part. All right? Okay. So now that I have it like this, you're always looking to see how you want to preserve the most flesh or meat from something. So I'm just going to cut in really small sections down. And you can see the eyes of the pineapple. Don't worry about those quite yet. I'd rather have those than take too much off in my first pass, right? We're just trying to get the skin off of it. There we go. Now let me get these out of the way. And wipe this down again, just so I don't have these little prickly things everywhere, right? And also get my spices out of the way. Just cleaning as I go, cleaning as I go. Fill up my water. Okay. Good. A little bit more of that. You all with me? Okay, great. See, more things I can put away. It's driving me crazy now. You can get type A about it. All right, so now you can see I've got this pineapple. It's still got some of its little prickly eyes on it. That's okay. I'm going to just kind of cut them down a little bit. See, you can just kind of take your knife past it, and without using too much pressure, you can just take a little bit of it off, right? So depending, you could get kind of more aggressive with pieces like that. But a serrated knife works really well on this, and I just don't have mine close to me right now. So I'm just going to, this other knife is working pretty darn well too. So again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just taking off as much as I can without taking away a lot of the yummy, really golden part of the fruit. And then we're going to take the core out. When you have perfectly ripe pineapple, you can often eat the core and it still tastes delicious. But a lot of times it's just, it's more fibrous and it's not that yummy. So I'm going to take it out for this. But I'm just going to cut up part of this pineapple to show you because we're not going to need all of it right now. And I'm going to cut, so let me show you where the core is. I'll bring that up to the camera. Can you see the core, right? So I'm going to cut close to the core, cut down, kind of leave the core there. And this is not a perfect science, okay? Ooh, but that's pretty good. And then I'm just going to slice it into smaller chunks, and then we'll cut it from there, just like you're cutting any sort of vegetable and you're trying to break it down into smaller pieces, right? I hear the chicken. I just want to cut these really fast into longer spears before I dice them. These are looking good. And then cut that one. And then I'll grab the chicken and we'll take a quick peek, okay? Let's see what we think. Need a good oven mitt or a dry towel front so I don't burn my hands on the stove or on the oven sheet pan. So let me grab that. Oh, this is looking gorgeous. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful. Here's what I want to do. I'm putting that down so I don't do anything stupid. But what I want to do is I want to just turn those chicken pieces over. Again, I'm running a little low on equipment today because it's all in my dishwasher underneath this other side. But let me just flip things and stir it a little bit, and then back in it goes. I want to flip these onions. I'll show them to you again. I'm going to flip the chicken pieces. My goodness, this is gorgeous. Oh, I just want to make sure the chicken is cooking great. I just want to make sure the veggies are cooked enough too, and that they're nice and soft and caramelized. Wow, beautiful. Okay, back in it goes. I'm going to say 7 minutes. Okay, I think we're set. Here we go. I'm back. Any questions while I've been away? Let's switch back to the pineapple view, okay? And we'll finish up this salsa while we're waiting for the chicken. Okay, so I just broke it down into some smaller pieces, and then I'm going to dice it. Now, one thing that we did mess around with for this recipe was grilling the pineapple first, which is so darn good. But I didn't want you to feel like on a weeknight you have to do something like that, right? So I have a grilling pan here in my kitchen, and if I don't have time to grill, or if the weather's not nice outside, sometimes I'll do that. But what I would do is just cut off spears of this, and you could put it on the grill pan, and you're going to get a little smokiness off that that's just absolutely delicious. So completely up to you. Obviously, it's another step. And if you're not in the mood, that's fine, because this is still going to be delicious, just the way it is. So this pineapple is very juicy, which I'm delighted about. Let's just do this, shall we? My hands are my best tools. And then let me just wipe this down because it's really slippery. You don't want that. I don't want to wipe out. 2 more little pieces of pineapple that snuck away. And then what can I put those in? Let's just get this out of the way. Like, oh no, I'm going to want to use this for my guacamole. So let me get something else. Somebody's going to need to do the dishes tonight, or unload the dishwasher, I should say, too. Okay. Not going to be me, folks. All right. So now I've got this. Let's do the lime again, and then we're going to put some jalapeno in it. Now, if you like spice, jalapeno, you can keep the seeds in it, and the seeds are a huge source of the heat, right? So that'll definitely make it spicier. If you like cayenne, you could even put a sprinkling of cayenne in this just to kick the whole thing up. I'm kind of a wimp. No, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna put actually a little bit of jalapeno, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of red onion in this too for flavor, crunch, texture, all the things. Just twist this piece off and see. Oh yeah, I got a lot of the juice out of that one. Oh, delightful. Makes it much easier to squeeze, I promise you. Now we can see my phone along with my son's tardiness. Oh my goodness. It's kind of funny, isn't it? All right. So I've got my pineapple, my lime juice. We're going to want salt. I always want salt to season. It brings out the flavors and everything. But we definitely want it with this. Now let's get the jalapeno. Here's what I'm going to do, friends. I'm just going to cut the top off it, okay? And then if you want to just really make it easy on yourself, just cut off like a side of it, right? Now, when you've got a little knife and you've got great knife skills, what you can do is work your way around this and just de-seed it by like sawing through it, which I could do. But right now, I don't want the seeds, so why make the mess? I don't even have to worry about that part. I'm just going to cut through it in slices like this. Feel free to come in, Con. Hi. Oh, good. I'm making pineapple salsa. And then I'm just going to cut across these little matchsticks into a fine dice. Connor can take heat. I cannot. So I'll let him add extra heat to his salsa if he likes. Okay. But I'll add a little bit more of the pepper itself, okay? So look, now that the seeds are still in there, I'm just going to cut around it again and cut that piece off. So really all you're getting is the flesh. A lot less heat than the seeds. Cut it that way if you want to be all fancy. My knives really need sharpening. I've been saying that for a year now, haven't I? Okay. More. Right there. So lime juice, pineapple, jalapeno, salt so far. Let's add this to my bonus veggie pile. And we'll be using more of those later. Right. Oops! First spill of the night. Luckily it's water. Nothing exciting around here to drink. So let's stabilize my cutting board again. Always a good idea, right? I don't want things falling down. Okay, so now I said I was going to do a little bit of red onion. That's the last thing, and cilantro. Okay, cilantro can be really dirty when you get it at the market. This has been really nicely washed. So I'm just going to pull off some of these leaves and chop them up finely. If it's really dirty, you will need to wash it. I like to put it in a salad spinner afterwards, though, because since the Leaves are so light and fine, they hold a lot of water and they get mushed down, right? So if you put it in a little herb spinner or a salad spinner, it'll really help you get most of that water off. It'll be much easier to cut. Just another little tip, my friends. Okay, so let's just start. I'm just going to start running my knife through it, and then I kind of like collect it up and keep chopping so it becomes smaller and smaller. Can you always see too how I'm lifting my wrist here, but I'm leaving the knife blade on the counter? So there's a lot of this, but then you're running your knife through it instead of this up and down motion, just straight through it. Again, I can tell my knife's not sharp enough because it's making slicing shapes through the leaf, but not always cutting it all the way through. It's kind of funny. So you can just use that knife blade too to kind of push it back together, right? Gives you more to get through. A lot of people don't like cilantro. Don't worry if you don't like it. You certainly don't have to use it. I think some people genetically have a thing where it tastes soapy. So if that's you, you certainly don't have to use it. Okay, let me get that chicken out before I forget about it. Okay, be right back. Not before I wipe my board down like a professional. Okay, I'm going to bring the camera back up so you can see this when I bring it out. Oh my goodness. It is gorgeous. Guys, this is just like my favorite kind of food. Can you picture this with just a big dollop of chimichurri on it? Just absolutely beautiful, right? Simple weeknight sheet pan dinner. So easy to clean up after this. You can marinate all of this during the day or even for 30 minutes or an hour before you cook it. And there you have it, right? Then you can also chop up the chicken and use it in other things the next day. You could add it to a salad. I'll let that cool a little bit and then we will, I'll try it, okay, before we're done here. But let me also get red onion. That's what I said I was gonna get. And I need more, and these are humongous red onions. This is the smallest one I've got. So we're gonna use this one. Let me just take a little sip of my water again. And then let me move the camera again, okay? So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I just want to mince this a little bit. So, and it's really flat. So this is kind of a funny shape to cut through. But I'm always trying to leave the stem intact, right? So it makes it easier to dice. But let me cut off that top part. Something stable. Always, always looking for stability when you cut with sharp knives. Cut through it. And then I'm going to remove the paper. Okay. And then out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is do my little favorite chopping thing where when you've got this root intact, you can cut horizontally and vertically, and then you cut across it, and it's already diced for you, okay? So let's just make a couple vertical cuts in it. I'm sorry, horizontal. And then a couple across the top. And then you turn it, et voila. Isn't that fun? I'm just doing some thin slices of it like that, like a really thin dice, okay? We don't need a lot, but I just want enough to give it some crunch. Speaking of, you know, I do mango salsa and I'll put macadamia nuts in it. You can do other things. You could put toasted pepitas in it. That would be delicious. Whatever you like. These are going back into my keep using this produce. I'll make another batch of this salsa, but maybe I'll grill the rest of the pineapple later. Okay, let me get a spoon and let's mix this up. Oh, yummy. This is going to be delightful. Let's see if I've got enough of everything in it. Like I said, if you really like heat, you could throw in a habanero. You could use the seeds of the jalapeno. You could put in the tiniest dash of cayenne. Yum, yum, yum. You know what? The red onion's going to sit in the lime juice, and it's absolutely delicious. I'm back. So far, we've got the sheet pan chicken that's going to be amazing. We've got pineapple salsa to go with the fish tacos. Any spice blend will work, but I also want to share the spice blend that I used for my shrimp tacos / fish tacos, in case you'd like to write it down. But this is how simple we're talking. It's so simple. Let's see what page it's on. So for the slaw, and let's see if I follow my own directions, right? For the slaw, finely shredded green and or red cabbage, lime juice, and kosher salt. Check. For the salsa, I call for diced fresh pineapple, diced red onion. Oh, I know what I was missing. I called for a red pepper, and my son used it while he was making lunch today, so I did not have any, but the red adds really nice color to it as well. And then I've got a half a jalapeno, seeded because I'm a wimp, and finely diced, and then chopped cilantro, lime juice, pinch of salt. That's it, right? And then I call for the tacos. You can use avocado oil or olive oil. And the taco spice rub, page 64. Let's see if I know what's in this. Cumin, chili powder, garlic or onion, salt. Oh, look at me. It's, okay, 2 parts chili powder, 2 parts cumin, 2 parts kosher salt, 1 part garlic powder, 1 part oregano, and a tiny, tiny pinch of cayenne. So I used, I lied. It's 2 tablespoons of chili powder to 2 teaspoons. I'm just going to do this. And you guys, let's see if we can just share this recipe with you for a minute. Is it going to focus for you? Can you see it, even though it's backwards? No, it's like I'm forcing you to order the book now. Let me read it again, though. 2 tablespoons chili powder, 2 teaspoons ground cumin, 2 teaspoons kosher salt, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon dried oregano, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, which is optional, okay? Super simple. And just like on the chicken, I just mix that in advance. You can keep it in a storage container in a drawer for a long time, probably like a couple of months. I usually use them up faster than that, right? And that's great to sprinkle on fish, chicken, shrimp, even steak. It would be absolutely delicious. And use any meat that you want to make the tacos. But then the things that are so special are these things, okay? And this just, I'm not kidding, like when you put the lime juice on the cabbage, it softens it up and it goes from tasting raw and not so tasty to still crunchy, but not so aggressive. That's the word I was looking for. Yum, yum, yum. All right, let's talk about this sauce, this red sauce I made, because I absolutely love having some sort of sauce around during the week. So when people come in hungry and they say there's nothing to eat, I can say, yes, there is. You can eat it practically on its own, which I did today with some smoked mozzarella on top. Or you can make some pasta and just fold it in, right? So I think I do a lot of red sauces where I'm showing you all how I do olive oil, and then I saute some red onion. A lot of times I'll add garlic, and then I'll add fennel seed, chili flake, sometimes some oregano. And those are my spices for it. And then I just add a can of crushed tomatoes. You could certainly use whole tomatoes and chunk them up yourself for tomato puree, but I'm a huge fan of the crushed tomatoes texture-wise. So they're still thick, and kind of chunky, but they don't have those oversized chunks of tomato. It's more just like a sauce consistency. And then a really generous amount of salt, and I let that simmer. But the only difference in this recipe is that I used fresh eggplant, and I used Japanese eggplant, which is the thinner one, right? The Globe eggplant is thicker, and a lot of times they recommend that you press that first with salt to get some of the bitterness out. I don't even bother with that. I just buy the thin Japanese eggplant. I cut them up, I dice them, and use it just like I use zucchini. So I did 1 zucchini and 1 eggplant in this, and I sauteed it after the onion was cooked, and then I added the tomatoes and let it simmer, simmer, simmer. And then at the end, I'm going to show my face again. What you can do is it's really traditional. I don't know in what part of Italy they started doing this to serve fold in smoked mozzarella. So I love fresh mozzarella in pastas. You know, Parmesan cheese is such a typical cheese to use or to sprinkle over it. But on this one, I use some fresh Parmesan cheese and then smoked mozzarella. And smoked mozzarella is really firm. So it's like firm mozzarella, but because they smoke it, it dries it out a little bit too. Smell it. I mean, it smells super smoky. I think it's typically smoked on apple wood, and it is absolutely delicious. So I just dice some of this up, and while the pasta is warm, I sprinkle it in. And with the sauce and the hot pasta, it melts and kind of gets gooey and delicious. And you can add fresh basil in at the end as well, and more Parmigiano Reggiano, and it is absolutely spectacular. I love it because it's not meat. I tend to lean into meat a lot. Nothing wrong with that, but I think I rely on it too much. And so when I can make something that's vegetable-based instead, I'm always happy. And this one is just an absolute superstar. So I love this sauce. The other thing about it, and I'll show you again, is that it freezes really nicely. So I don't put the cheese in when I freeze it, but this was one 28-ounce can of tomatoes, and I've already eaten some for lunch today. I've served myself. So there's probably, this could do for another, like a pound of pasta at least. But you could double everything and use two 28-ounce cans. Hi, Charlie. I didn't know that was you. Of tomatoes, and then just let it cool and freeze. And it's absolutely delicious, and it preheats really nicely. Okay, so whenever you're freezing something, if the recipe calls for cheese in it, like Parmigiano Reggiano in particular, I usually don't put it in until I defrost it. I don't think it does great in the freezer, but it won't be the worst thing you've ever had. How you doing, honey? I froze some of your lemonade as ice cubes, so if you can't find it, it's in the freezer. I was doing a test. Okay, so that is my favorite pasta sauce now that I love doing. Today I did it when I was hungry, and I did it for lunch, and it takes as long to make it as it does for the water to boil for the pasta and the pasta to cook. So I love that on weeknights too. Like if you want to cook, but you're like, I just don't want to spend a lot of time. I like recipes where they're done quickly and the active time is not very big at all. And so this is one of those recipes. But if you prefer to cook it on the weekends when you're coming home from the store and you've got the ingredients out, that works as well. So either way is great, okay? And then freeze some. Like I said, you can have it later on. Should we try the chicken? I want to taste it and see what we think. And I want to talk to you about the veggies in it. Because parsnips and carrots are delicious, but you could use turnips. You can use all kinds of veggies in this. You could do all summer vegetables if you wanted. Take a look. I'm going to take a little piece off here. And then get a little bit of all the veggies. Boop. I gotta get some turnip. Like I said, I don't exactly have the right serving equipment right now. It's driving me crazy. We had people working in the house today for sealing up like the whole inside of the house. So there weren't any gaps between the house and the outdoors. And so it was loud and noisy. And I just haven't gotten back. They forgot to put a couple things back together. So I'm looking in the kitchen being like, yeah, gotta do that tonight too. Okay, let's take a look at this chicken. All right. So I can see the beautiful warm spices, which I love. Let's see if it's well seasoned enough with salt. It's delicious. It's really nicely seasoned. But the chicken cooked so quickly. The boneless, skinless chicken thigh, you could certainly use chicken breast as well. This is one of my favorite weeknight dinners, and it's why I wanted to share it with you right now. I was like, do I have yellow turmeric lips from that? So delicious. And I hope that with this book, I'm helping you all solve some problems in your kitchen, right? Because I'm always just trying to approach cooking as how can I make it easier for people? And how can I convince people if they don't like to be in the kitchen that it doesn't have to take a lot of time or cost a lot of money or be hard to do? And if you already like to cook, what are some recipes I can give you that maybe you haven't thought about the combinations before, or I teach you something that you've never learned before that will be a game changer, right? So one of the other things I really love about this book, when I actually stopped to enjoy it, is that we did a whole chapter up front on meal planning and how to meal plan. And, it's a popular topic. I feel like everybody's talking about it. But now it's really becoming a bigger topic of conversation because there are tools that can help you meal plan for the week too. So many things online. But at the end of the day, the person who's going to think it through is the one who's doing the majority of the cooking, right? So I enclosed my whole plan of attack for how I do it, from how I make my grocery list to, backing up and picking my recipes first, the whole method to my magic, right? And talking about why bother, one of the main reasons I meal plan is because you save so much money and you prevent yourself from wasting food. And when I don't meal plan and I cook, or I go to the store without a plan and I just bring a bunch of stuff home, at the end of the week, it is so depressing to see what I've wasted. And so it's really important to me that I try to do this, especially, there's my chimichurri, especially when my kids are home, because otherwise, when we're not on the same page and we're just buying things right and left and people are running to the store every day, before I know it, I've spent $100 or $200 more than what I budgeted, right? Which is crazy. And we don't want to do that. So I'm looking at some of the breakfast recipes that are amazing because there are things that you can plan together. And I recommend weekly menus so that a lot of the ingredients go together. So you're using them more than once and you're saving money that way as well. I love this photo, flatbread 2 ways. Isn't that gorgeous? Just a very accessible, easy to use book. These are actually breakfast tacos. They were not shot to be the cover of the book, but that blue background became such a favorite. And it's just the kind of food I want to encourage people to eat, like super approachable, right? So there it is. There it is. Now, I don't think I'm looking, the avocados aren't quite ripe enough, so I hate to do it and then not have them taste good, right? But are there other questions about the recipes that we made tonight? I just want to remind you, you can freeze the tomato sauce. And Linda, thank you. It's a great idea. I do links on Instagram. I'm linking to different places online because I'm doing so many giveaways, right? So I'm doing the Traeger grill giveaway. So if you go to my website and you sign up, you can see where you can win a free grill. And then next month, we'll be doing another giveaway. Yes, it's on Amazon. My book is everywhere. Everywhere books are sold, basically. So you are welcome to, if you just Google my name or you go to Amazon and you put my name in, there's another. Bye, Pune. So nice to see you. We're almost done anyhow. Thanks for joining. There's another Amanda Haas who writes books on cosplay. So you can see things on like dressing up like Star Wars characters. But there's only one cookbook author, Amanda Haas. So you can find them. They're all available for pre-sale right now. My books are, or this book is, I should say. And they ship anywhere where it's being sold online right now, like Barnes & Noble, Target, independent booksellers, Amazon. It should arrive on your doorstep the day it comes out, which is really fun. I think they're allowed to ship it like a day or two before, right? So it's here. So I can't wait to pick our winner from who is here live tonight. I'm going to have Caitlin do it because since I'm here, it would feel not fair since I can see the 5 of you who are here live tonight. But we'll pick the winner. The chicken was at 400 G, okay? And it only took 20. I put it in there for 22 minutes. And I took it out at 15 and just gave it a stir. So easy. But I cannot wait to announce the winner of my book, the person who gets the very first signed copy on the planet, except the one that I signed to myself, the first one that shows up, which is the one I've been holding all night. So we will let you know who you are, and we'll take it from there, okay? Does that sound good? Are there other questions about the recipes tonight? No? No, no, no? Okay, well, I love spending time with all of you. Thank you so much for your support on this book and for our new business. I cannot wait to share it with all of you. House of Haas is here to stay. We'll be doing these classes for a very long time. And if anything, they're only going to get better as we move into a new kitchen space. So everyone have a terrific evening or day, depending on where you're watching this. And I'll see you soon, okay? Take care. Bye. See if I can figure out how to turn this off. Bye. Audience. Let's see. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll figure it out. Bye, friends. Oops. Still trying to figure it out with the new